This episode of the Home Pros Radio Show podcast is brought to you by HomeBinder, the premier home management app. Receive home maintenance reminders, organize your home's inventory, manage your home improvement projects, and more. Stay tuned to get a free upgrade code for HomeBinder worth over $200.
The Home Pros Radio Show.
I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections, and this is the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. Coming up, we cover a condition that many home inspectors come across during home inspections. It's a miswired three-way dimmer. Also, a closing contractor mystery sound for you to guess. And Shane and I cover a list of items that you should not be flushing down your toilet. What are the odds that you're guilty of one or more items on our list? Well, we'll find out soon enough. But first, let's share this question from Greg, who's looking for some help with his front door.
Good morning. It's Greg from TR.
Maybe you can help me. I've been looking for someone to repair or actually refinish a solid wood exterior door, and have tried all the resources I can think of, and thought you guys might know of someone that was in that line of business.
Well, I mean, what is the door in bad shape, or is it does it just need to be stripped and stained and painted, or
it's kind of a custom thing. It's a solid black walnut front door, and it's on the south-facing, west-facing side, so it's got just sun, and it just needs stripping and refinishing, I think, yeah. So tried furniture refinishers and haven't had any luck there, and, exterior door repair, replace, but haven't found anybody that thinks they can take this job on.
So basically what you wanted, the door is in such a shape where you could refinish it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, typically it would be a painter that would handle that kind of job, depending on the level of it. But, they're going to look at it and just sort of, and if it's a real ornate door, if it's a real expensive door, some people don't feel as comfortable, obviously stripping it down and all. But I think I could certainly help you out, point you in the right direction. If you want me to send you over a contact, I can send you over a contact later on. We have your number here, so I can certainly get somebody over to you.
Okay, that'd be great. I would appreciate that a lot.
It's every homeowner's nightmare. You push the handle to flush your toilet, but instead of going down, the water comes up. How about we help you avoid that situation and cover some of the things you may be doing to clog that toilet and not even knowing it?
We're just telling the folks on Facebook Live what we're going to be talking about this morning. Things like, what are you flushing down your toilet? I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of a crappy topic to be discussing, right? But no, I'm talking about other things that I was actually reading. There were some articles that came out last week. I compared them to some others I saw this week. And there's just some things on that list that I was like, ooh, I never thought about that. And it kind of changed the way that I look at my toilet. Things that you should probably do to prevent unwanted clogs, or you want to help out the city sewer system. Right. I can't imagine what that end of the job is, of the whole thing.
What all they see?
Oh, gosh.
There's no telling. I've heard all kind of stories about, people working in like these lift plants and stuff, like lift stations and all, and the things that they would pull out of those.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard some of those stories.
So we're going to be talking about some of the things that make those stations not
have problems.
And I think
not
that's
function properly.
And I think that's the source of this information, is those guys that they're going, oh, I can't believe people are flushing down the toilet. Can somebody write an article about this? And I thought this was interesting. It's basically a list of things that you should not be flushing down your toilet. And I was going, yeah, that's obvious. Yep, that's obvious. Ooh. I think I'm guilty of that one and that one and that one. Let's see if any of this applies to you. First of all, I think you hear this a lot, is flushable baby wipes or
sanitary wipes.
Sanitary wipes. Even though they are labeled flushable, they don't disintegrate as quickly as, say, toilet tissue. Give it a test. Fill up a bucket or whatever and throw a tissue next to a baby wipe or whatever. See if it deteriorates. Deteriorates. Take a note of how those sanitary wipes just don't break down like toilet paper does. You know what else doesn't break down? Band-Aids. How many times have you thrown one of those in the john and flushed it? I think that goes without saying, because they are plastic.
Yeah, I I could definitely see that without having to have it on the list.
Those and cigarette butts. So when you're done smoking one off on the toilet,
put it out
and you're smoking a cigarette, throw that cigarette in the toilet. Throw that in the trash. So, but I'm sure that I'm not a smoker, but I could see that happening. How about dental floss? Have you ever thrown your dental floss into the toilet? Dental floss. Here's the situation with it is our plumbing system will have a tendency to clog. I mean, anytime you get any type of solid waste down a drain pipe and any of it gets stopped up, that diameter of that drain slowly gets smaller and smaller. And if you're throwing things like, I'll combine this one, dental floss and say hair, then you're just going to start creating a spider web of things that you can trap stuff with.
Yeah, then it catches everything from then on.
Yeah, so try to avoid things like dental floss and hair. Chewing gum, I should probably post this for my kids. Right there on the wall above the toilet. Chewing gum never dissolves in water. And, of course, it says here, worse yet, it can adhere to other it sticks to other stuff. Barf.
Yeah. You think about any of this stuff together, you got a mess.
How about this? If you're also throwing cotton balls or Q-tips in the toilet, cotton doesn't dissolve in water. It says here, I haven't done the actual. That would be a good science project. So, youngins out there, if you're listening, this would be great. This would be a great science project. And we'll feature it on the show.
Yeah.
Things like cotton balls, Q-tips, things like that, cotton swabs, especially those which can easily lodge in pipes and create a log jam. Now, this next one's obvious.
What you got?
Diapers.
I don't know who would try to flush a diaper down the toilet. But
if you're flushing the toilet, if you're flushing a diaper down the toilet, all I have to say is
you are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
You deserve to have a clogged toilet.
Right.
How about this one? This one actually hit close to home because I had to warn the kids. We were out at the lake house, which is on a septic tank, and we had the cat with us, and we had the kitty litter box there with us. And I said, all right, kids, I read this article. Don't throw any of the kitty litter in the toilet, especially if you have septic. All of this stuff gets emphasized even more if you have a septic tank, by the way. But do not throw kitty litter into or don't flush it down the toilet because it'll expand. And as it says here, 10 to even 15 times the size of its original shape. And with modern toilets only using 1.5 gallons per flush, you're gonna get something stopped up pretty quick. Also, the residue that you find in the kitty litter box. What happens when the cat uses the litter box? They put their waste in it. It absorbs. All the moisture goes away because it gets absorbed by the cat litter. And then what do you have? Petrified poop and other things.
Right.
You throw that in the toilet, and then you might as well be throwing gravel down there.
Yeah.
And if you also got dental floss and hair and all that other stuff, you've got a clog waiting to happen.
Then especially if you're on septic, you just filled up the whole thing pretty quick with cat litter.
That's it. Any other things we got here? We got some things not to flush down your toilet. Drugs. Toilet water cannot destroy the active ingredients in medicines or illegal drugs, it says. There is one other item that I pulled off the news last night that you should not be flushing down your toilet.
What's that?
And it's your kid.
Okay.
Seriously.
That's probably good advice.
That's right. A Florida resident got into a little bit of trouble when she dangled her 3-year-old son over the toilet and threatened to flush him down the toilet. That's right. A viral video showing this incident went crazy, and it caused the local authorities there to seek a warrant for her arrest. Although once that was filed with the police department, or at least the
I saw something about it. This is the one where she got like death threats or something, didn't she?
Yeah, it kind of went out of hand, and she's regretting it right now. So what she's doing, she's dangling her son over the toilet. She flushes the toilet, and you can hear her 3-year-olds yelling, "No, no, no!" And meanwhile, her 10-year-old is recording it. And you can hear him going, "Oh, God, that's mean." So apparently Wolf, her name's Caitlin Wolf, was going to wash her toddler's mouth out with soap and water after her son used a profanity, but decided to
play this little prank to scare him a little more.
Flushing down the toilet instead.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it was just a joke, she says. Everything's like, everyone's giving her trouble. After receiving complaints about the video over the weekend, the police department opened an investigation and forwarded the video evidence to the state attorney's office. That's what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
And the state attorney was like, look, no, there's no need to press charges. So hopefully we've learned our lesson on that one. Don't flush your kid down the toilet.
Or even pretend to.
Yeah, exactly.
This episode of the Home Pros Radio Show podcast is sponsored by HomeBinder. There is no better way to organize paint colors and home documents, get maintenance reminders, receive email alerts of appliance recalls, and share valuable information about your home with potential buyers. For a limited time, use promo code HOMEPROSRadio, all one word, to upgrade to our premium edition for the life of your ownership. Visit us online at homebinder.com or simply click on the link provided in the show description of this podcast. HomeBinder, a homeowner's best friend.
Ever have a light switch in a room that only seems to operate if one of the other switches in the room is fixed in the up or down position? Could an improperly installed dimmer switch be the cause? Well, I was working with an electrician to find a solution to the issue and not getting anywhere until Shane pointed out one day that the... We've been talking electrical the past couple of weeks, and we teased it a little bit. We're talking about three-way switches. We were talking about reverse polarity and other things. Well, I was in a house about a month ago. Mm-hmm. All right, so I was at one end of the hallway, the light turns on and off. The other end of the hallway, or the switch turns on, the light on and off. The other end of the hallway, there's a switch with a dimmer, but it would only work if this other switch was in the up or down position. I can't remember. So I wrote it up. I was like, the three-way switch is not functioning properly. Having an electrician come in because I sure as heck can't figure it out. They're not easy to figure out. Have an electrician come in, check it out, make sure that the switches work independently. Your switches should independently operate, turn the light on and off. And what I usually see in home inspections is a dimmer's added to that, and it throws everything off. Why would that be?
Because whoever changed it to the dimmer is probably the homeowner, and they crossed up two wires. They hooked two of the wires up to the wrong place, or either they bought a dimmer that is not a three-way dimmer. So it's going to be one of the two of those. But usually they do actually get the three-way dimmer. They just cross up the two travelers. The two traveling wires they put them in the opposite spot as to where they're supposed to be. So it basically makes it where it doesn't work correctly.
I gotcha. Well, I get a call from an electrician who's doing the repairs, and this is where we got our lines crossed, if you will. We have a three-way circuit that has a dimmer on it that's not a three-way dimmer. And the electrician was like, well, no, I don't. That's not it, because they don't make a three-way dimmer. And I was like, wait a second. There's no such thing as a three-way dimmer. And he's like, no. And I was like, okay.
That's incorrect. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there real quick before people think that we don't think there's a three-way dimmer, because there's definitely a three-way dimmer.
So immediately my response was, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. How is this guy a licensed electrician? And then you brought up a really good point, that he may have misunderstood what I was trying to say. In other words, three-way dimmer, I was trying to say that the dimmer that was installed is probably a two-way where a three-way is needed. Shane, you were thinking that he may have misunderstood me.
It could have been because one thing with dimmers, with a hardwired dimmer, you can only dim it from one location. You can't dim it from multiple locations. You can get into more of the radio control dimmers and all, where you can actually dim lights from more than one location. But the actual hardwired dimmers, you can only dim it at one location, because once it's dim, it's dim. You can't go to the other side and make it bright again. Yeah. You know, I mean, it can only be controlled from one place. So he could have been thinking about that, but there's definitely hardwired three-way dimmers, because if I don't know what it is, I automatically buy a three-way dimmer. I would keep a three-way dimmer on the truck before I would keep a single-pole dimmer, because I can put a three-way dimmer in the place of a single pole.
And it'll still work.
If you wire it right, it'll still work. You can't put a single pole in place of a three-way.
Gotcha.
So, that's one of those things. I don't know if it was miscommunication or he was just thinking differently. Because you and I've had that conversation before, like stairs. You can't put a dimmer on stairs.
Yes.
And if you think about it logically, it makes perfect sense, because if you dim your stair lights and at the top of the stairs and you're at the bottom of the stairs trying to come up the stairs, now you got to go up in the dark.
Yeah.
So it's a trip hazard, So, there's different things with three-way dimmers, but there's definitely three-way dimmers.
Mm-hmm. So that's what Shane actually brought to light as I was going, this guy didn't know what he was talking about, blah, blah, blah. So he was probably thinking that I was trying to say you had to have a dimmer on either side, and which that makes sense. I could see why there was that breakdown in communication there. So.
Yeah.
But I found that interesting, because there are a lot of times how many times have we had conversations with contractors or customers or whatever, as contractors had conversations with customers where we're like, why does he not get it? I don't understand. Maybe it was something that I could have done in my communication to help smooth that whole process over, make it easier. It was neat to have that other perspective, as you brought up.
Right.
Yeah, that situation.
We close this episode with a quick challenge. Listen closely and see if you can solve this edition of the Closing Contractor Mystery Sound.
All right, I try to make it easier this time. Do you know what that is? Oh, come on.
I think I do.
All right, okay, cool. This isn't necessarily something that's like wrong or not working or anything. It's just a sound that you hear a lot, especially if you've got contractors at the house or if you're building. You're going to hear them working hard and doing this. It's funny. I remember prior to like 2008, I would go out on job sites, or I would go into neighborhoods where there's construction and stuff, and just the sound of swinging hammers and nail guns and things like that. It was like interesting how it went away during the recession. And then when I was back into doing new construction, there was a time there, and this kind of goes into how you got involved starting Closing Contractor is, the building shut down. There was a higher inventory of lived-in homes, a higher inventory of foreclosures. And I remember at one point I was like, well, I guess we hit the bottom of the barrel. It got that bad.
Right.
And then things started turning around and the builders started getting active again. And I tell you what, the sound of hearing like construction crews was interesting how that was like music to my ears at one point.
Yeah, it was nice once you started hearing it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that is your Closing Contractor Mystery Sound. Let's hear it once again. All right, try to make it easier. If you guys have any guesses, let us know. Oh, I think, Scout, we've got someone on the phone, actually. It's Mike from Gaffney. Mike, good morning.
Morning.
So what you got for us this morning?
I believe that it's an air compressor.
I love it. Very good. Nice, Mike. Nailed it. So, all right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate you participating, and hope you have a great day today.
All right. Thank you. Y'all do the same.
All right. Thanks. All right. Good job. First guess of the day.
That's all the time we have for this episode of the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. A quick reminder, we've made it easier than ever to access every episode of our podcast thanks to the Home Pros Radio Show app. You can download it now on Google Play and at the Apple App Store. It's the most convenient way for you to participate in the show, as you can like, share, and display feedback for the rest of the Home Pros Radio Show community to see. Also, we invite you to join and participate in our weekly live broadcast as it airs every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 94.5 WGTK The Answer. You can catch us on Facebook Live as well as we broadcast our video feed through our live studio camera. Catch us on Facebook at Home Pros Radio. For my co-host Shane Hips with Closing Contractor, I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you next time on the Home Pros Radio Show podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show. If you have a question for the Home Pros, visit us online at homeprosradio.com, where you can contact us directly and also learn more about the topics and guests we bring to you each week. It's the Home Pros Radio Show online at homeprosradio.com or on the radio at 94.5 WGTK, The Answer.